Steffen, let's start with you. Talk me through the premise of this film and how you really came up with it, this religious sitcom family where everything devolves into violence and chaos.
Yeah, I mean,
this movie's quite the ride. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is quite perfect how you describe it. This all started out, this film, with just a very simple idea, just having a 90s sitcom and just totally fuck it up. That was something that we were really found an interesting idea. So yeah, that's the basis, I think, for the idea, and it just got a little bit out of hand, I guess, while writing.
Were there specific sitcoms you had in mind?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm from Holland, and in my younger days, there were lots of reruns of all the American sitcoms, all the classics like Full House and Family Ties, Who's the Boss, that kind of stuff. Yeah, there was just something. There was not much on TV, so there was just something you would watch. I don't know. I think from that moment already, because it's such a safe world always. It's always this bubble and this small family troubles and small things. The idea that if something really terrible would happen to these sweet people, yeah, made it. I mean, of course, in this head, yeah.
That says the least of it, yeah, in terms of where this movie goes. But I mean, first of all, this is your first English language movie, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And first time at Sundance. You've done a lot of films, though. I think like Fantastic Fest, things like that. What was it like, kind of getting to this level now, working in English?
The fun thing about it is that the setup of the movie was exactly like we always do it. We made it in Holland. We shot it in Amsterdam in the studio. It's our script. We co-produce. This is really a Steffen and Flip film. Like we make our Steffen and Flip films. The big difference is that we got an amazing cast, and this was for us a way to push it to another level, because the language is always a thing, of course. I mean, when a movie is in Dutch, it's a very small country, a very small industry, and it's just nice to get your films out there and show them to the world. And I think this is perfect. And it was so fucking awesome when we got Alicia, and when we got Nick, and when we got our great Dutch cast, and we put this all together, and we had this amazing ensemble, I think, of actors together, because it's all in one location, this film. And we were with this group of actors, two families, in this house, shooting there for, I don't know, 22 days or something. It was a really short shoot. But it created such a nice energy. I'm railing.
Well, Alicia, how did you get involved in this project, and what led you to wanting to work with Steffen and Flip?
Well, I got a call from my agent saying he read something that was really crazy and that I should read it right away, and I did, and I loved the script so much. And then I saw the film that they made with your brother is the lead in it, and he's wonderful in this film, Ron the stuntman.
Yes.
And it's so good. I thought it was really a good movie, and I could just tell that they had so much style and vision, and it was just really artistic, and like they're just having so much fun. And then I met them, and Flip and Steffen are so cute on this FaceTime Zoom. They're so adorable and lovely. And then Amsterdam, which I love Amsterdam. So then going to get to be in Amsterdam with them, I had the best time. We hung out so much, and just being on set was so, like he said, it was just a really good vibe. They're so lovely, and they have everyone around them with that same energy. So I feel it was a dream to be there. It was such a good time.
I mean, your character starts off this movie already a little on edge and unhinged, like barely hanging on to this guy's bumbling kind of antics. And it doesn't take long for you to go like completely off the rails. What was that challenge like? How did you tap into that range?
That was very easy. It was just fun. I don't know. It was just, I remember that we would have these thoughts where we would look at each other and say, is that too much? Or I would say to Steffen, like, there was just moments where they had a very clear line of what the boundaries were,
I'd love to know what those are.
Incest. They didn't want incest. When we tried to do a little incest, I think that's where you drew the line.
Yeah.
We tried to do a little.
We tried to do a
great
little
sentence.
incest one time.
Within this story world, huh? We're talking about a,
Yeah, yeah.
a movie, people. It's-
But other than that, everything was okay. You know, she could have, I mean, we don't want to ruin things, but, you know, she could have a very strange baby in a day, and I could hate my husband and want the guy who's trying to kill me to be with me, like try to come on to him, and then change my mind really quickly. And so it was just, you know, tracking all that was hilarious because I would just have to say, this makes sense that 5 seconds ago, you know, and tracking how fucked up I was on drugs because she's taking the pills was fun. I don't know, it was just fun and wonderful.
Gaite, I mean, how did you get involved in this project? Had you worked with them before or been familiar with their films? And I mean, playing an American too, what was that like for you, a 90s teen? What was that
Super
like?
fun. It was super fun. We have never worked before, but I am very familiar with Steffen and Flip's work because they're huge in Holland and their movies are just very epic. So I was very honored when they asked me to do an audition, but then the audition was really funny to me because it's a teenager and I've passed that stage. So I was like, oh cool, I get to do this again. I get to do it like extra. This is fun. So I had a really, really fun time just chewing gum and being amazed by everything the whole
Did
time.
you get any advice from your co-star here about playing a 90s teen? Any advice there? It's considering your legacy being one of the more iconic ones.
She didn't need any
Fuck, I
advice.
should have
She was
asked.
she was so good. They're all so good. Being surrounded by this cast was insane. She just sometimes would be, you'd show us a frame and she'd be behind, and just the face she would make through this, it was wonderful. I think that
We had a
people-
fun time.
Yeah.
How about working with Nick, who's just such a great comic actor? You know, what was it like being on set with him, and how he kind of developed this character, who's just very unusual, even in like the context of a 90s sitcom.
Big fan.
Yeah, no, Nick was amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
so good.
It was so because he, Flip, me, and Nick really share a sort of comedy thing. I mean, a taste in comedy, and
You're all mental.
yeah, a little bit. So he loved the script immediately. Yeah, and of course there's so much in there, and he just got it, and he also brought so much extra to this film, and it was so cool to see him digging in really deep because it gets dark in lots of moments in a really funny way, I must say. I think, although it's a movie, but and I don't know. There was, I think, you can see Nick in a way that you haven't seen him before. So as a fan of his work, I love that.
How do you? I don't want to give anything away in this movie, but you know, there's many moments that I think are going to really shock audiences, and you know, what is really some of your intention there? Is it for that shock value, or you know, how do you hope audiences respond to some of these moments that are pretty? Some are pretty disturbing.
Like what?
Yeah, I don't. Is there in the
Is there?
script?
I don't think so.
I was also I'm scrolling through it right now. I mean, it's about the absurdity, I guess, and it's within the story world, and it's a film about insanity as well. I mean, it's about family, but it's also about insanity, and this character is not on a good starting point, and in the end of the film, maybe he is or not. I mean, that's I think for the audience to decide. So, and I think always with the films that Flip and I make, you got people who love it and you got people who hate it, and I think that's fine because it's just a movie. I mean, it's meant to for people to watch it and enjoy it if you like this kind of stuff, and otherwise that's totally fine.
Have you seen Too Many Cooks? Were you inspired by that in any way, or wanted to one up it? Or yeah, tell me about that.
No, it's not. I mean, of course, it's the Too Many Cooks thing is great because it just never stops. It's a great bit, and although we don't have Adult Swim in Holland, this is something that, of course, through the internet existed. But it was not an inspiration for the film in a way. I mean, it was of course good to see it and to see how other people fucked around with a sitcom. But doing a sitcom movie that felt kind of new, and we also approached it as a sitcom. So I think the first half of the movie, or at least the first act, we shot it like a sitcom with multiple cameras. We had the old scrappy lenses, the old zoom ones. And we had a television operators to do it and to make it to look exactly, and also
Like
the
3 camera setup, or the
we had a 4 camera setup even. To have and so we could do the whole scene in one take. I mean, we did a couple most of the times just because it was so much fun. But it was a really nice way to get into it, and also take the audience in account. That was not there, of course, a live audience while shooting. But to totally get into the sitcom vibe.
For the actors, I mean, when you're on set and there's so much chaos going on and all these crazy things, how do you keep focused on what's important, or what strategies do you employ to really maintain your focus?
Well, I was going to say about it felt like we were in a play, because we did a lot, even when we weren't doing the sitcom thing where we did it all in one take, which were very long takes, the scenes. There was also, when we went into the handheld stuff, because of all the action, we would do those in really long takes, and we would do them sometimes 17 times or more. I mean, we would keep going. But it was so much fun, and that felt like theater. That felt good.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Yes. And also I think it helped that we were in the same place most of the time. So everything, like our house really started feeling like everything around us also really helps to be like, oh yeah, this is everything. And then it all goes to shenanigans. But it helps being like, oh yeah, it's all the same space. So you see what's happening very clearly.